overall the games happened on Thursday. Only 5 of them. The first game is the Miami Heat beating the Houston Rockets 101-94. The Miami Heat, they've been struggling to start off the season, mainly because Jimmy Butler was out. He got COVID pretty bad. Came back, played, been playing really, really well. He's a 21st ranked player in 9 category leagues. Played 39 minutes here, really, really strong. And his two biggest categories are his free throw and his steals, and then assist. He's not a big 3 point. He doesn't really shoot that many threes. He made one here, but really, really strong from Jimmy Butler. Good to see. While Bam played 33, really struggled this game. 8 turnovers. Rockets defensively, they've been pretty good this year. 8 turnovers, 2 steals, 8 assists, really, really strong, and he continues to shoot from 80% from the free throw line. If Bam is an 86% free throw shooter, he's a top 20, top 5 guy, right? And even his defensive stats have been underperforming a bit. 1 steal and 1 block. I think his steals can go up a tiny bit, maybe 1.2, 1.3, but 86% from the free throw line, 85% on 6 attempts. Yeah, that's 25 player value in 9 category leagues. Kelly Olynyk, you can also take a look at him. He's been playing with everybody back in the roster. He's been playing 30 minutes every single night. So it's time, it's probably worth rostering in 12-team leagues because he's pretty well rounded. He's a big man, can grab you rebound, can get assists, even give you a little bit steals and blocks and hit some threes. So that's good. And that just aren't many guys centers on the waiver wire. Kendrick Nunn, with Goran Dragic out, you have to roster him. Play 41 minutes here, 4 steals. He's not going to do this every game. But just look at the shot attempts, 18 shot attempts, 40 minutes. Coach Spoelstra has no problem just playing Kendrick Nunn heavy minutes with Dragic out. But when Dragic does come back, we don't know. He might just not play. He just pick up the DNP the next game. It's just really weird stuff from Kendrick Nunn. The minutes on the Rockets side, Cousins played pretty okay. Wood is out, so in 25 minutes, Cousins can give you this line, and you have to take it. 11 rebound is really, really good. 3 assists. The efficiency from the field is really good. 1 steal, 16 points. We're not gonna see prime DeMarcus Cousins, obviously, but every once in a while he can really pop off. Victor Oladipo hurt. He hurt his foot. He has a sore right foot and ankle. Their next game is two days from now. I don't know if he'll play in that game. Just consider him questionable. But Rockets, they don't really need to rush him back. Before he left, he played 20 minutes. His efficiency continues to be a big problem. Right, bad field goal, bad free throw, 1 steal. He and John Wall just bad. If you compare him, John Wall, and Russell Westbrook, just pound all 3 efficiency categories, maybe it'll work. And the problem is all 3 guys, they're not very healthy. They're gonna sit out a lot of games. So those 3 guys are tough to hold. But whenever they play, they put they will put up the counting stats. Same thing with John Wall, 3 for 6 from the free throw line. 17 points is okay, 7 assists is okay, 6 rebounds is okay. He is I talked about this. He's a mini Westbrook. The efficiencies are not as bad as Westbrook's, but the counting stats are not as good as Westbrook's. So if you just say, fuck it, I'm just gonna pound all 3 all 3 efficiency categories. The free throw, the field goal, and the turnover. You can collect those guys because the owner, whenever they have a really, really bad efficiency night, the owner will be like, wow. And if the owner is not pounding those categories, the owners would really want to try to get rid of them. So that's the opportunity to buy low. I'm sure like guys like John Wall, Westbrook specifically, you can really get him cheap. Like, throw a normal power at him. The owner might just take it. Eric Gordon also, I think, worth rostering. Can give you 17, 18 points pretty consistently, and the efficiency is rough. Daniel House is really worth a look at. He's been getting 30 minutes, and he's been giving you those defensive stats. So I would be okay just, pick him up, see where it goes. He can be a good fantasy player. Make some threes. Don't really turn the ball over and get you those steals and blocks. Let's move on to the next game, Toronto. Losing to Boston Celtics. Raptors, even though they are having They start off the season so badly. They're still 6 in the Eastern Conference because the East 12 and 14. Norman Powell, the shooting fell off. 6 for 15, no steals and no steals or blocks, 15 points. You still roster him, but I think the end is near. Once OG comes back, and this level of efficiency cannot continue. He still took 15 shots, so the highest shot attempts on the team. Pascal Siakam 14, 1 steal, 23 points. Okay game against the Celtics. I guess no one really popped off, other than Chris Boucher. Let's talk about Chris Boucher a little bit. In 25 minutes, this is what we know Chris Boucher can do. This week has been really, really good. Didn't really block that many shots before this game. Blocked 5 here. 12 and 6. Bad from the free throw line, but who cares? He got you 1 steal and 5 blocks. That's why we rostered Chris Boucher. He had 5 personal fouls in only 25 minutes. He's still a must roster guy. His block numbers whenever he plays, he blocks shots. He can be a 2 blocks guy, and that's really, really valuable. You must roster him. And if you want to buy low, his price just went up. A couple weeks ago, you can probably buy low with a top 80 and 90 guy. Now it's tough, but your buy low time will come because he will struggle some nights for sure. Kyle Lowry, 32 minutes, had a great night shooting the ball. 6 assists and a steal, while Fred VanVleet didn't shoot the ball well, but continued to fill up the stat sheet. 11 assists. Okay, sometimes he can pop, that's understandable. 2 steals on, but 2 blocks again. He has been. I think Fred VanVleet's ranking is gonna fall off quite a bit, in my opinion. I think he's like a top 25 guy, just not this good. He is. Let me see, where is Fred? He's 15th ranked. He's more like a 25 guy, averaging 0.7 blocks. That's the thing I don't think he will continue doing. Everything else looks okay. His ranking is so high because for a couple of reasons. Well, the biggest reason is he's getting 1.8 steals, but as a pretty high usage guy, pretty high assist guy, he only has 2 turnovers. That is really, really scary. The rest of the line, 20 points is okay, but not that impressive. 6.6 assists is really good. 1.8 steals. The field goal is bad. But I think biggest reason his ranking is pretty high in 9 category leagues is obviously the steals. But compared to other high usage guys, his turnover is really, really good. Pascal Siakam, we already talked about him. Sorry. And DeAndre Bembry played 23 minutes, got you 1 block and nothing else. On the Raptors, other than I guess OG comes back, Norman Powell and Chris Boucher, nobody else has any fantasy value. On the Celtics side, Jason Tatum, struggled shooting the ball. 5 for 13, 17 points, but 9 assists, 2 steals, 6 for 6 from the free throw line. He is the 19th ranked. I think he has room to grow for Tatum. He really hasn't. Because Jaylen Brown has been playing so well, he kind of get overshadowed. He definitely has room to grow. This season, his assist number has been up. But 26 points, he can maybe push it up to 27, 28, and more threes as well. More rebound as well. So a little room to grow. I see him as a top 15 player. And the reason he gets drafted in the first round, I never thought on the per game basis he can be a top 10 guy. But due to his, always available. That's why you grab him a bit earlier than his per game production. Daniel Theis had a great game. He's a must pick up at the moment. And Robert Williams is, his minutes has been trending down, a bit. He was only playing 15 minutes, but now he plays 10. So Daniel Theis, with him playing this well, I can see Coach Stevens give him more runs. Peel up the stat sheet: 2 steals and 4 blocks, a plus 28. 8 points, 5 rebounds, really, really strong. Sammy Ojale started, also had a great game, but I think Coach Stevens is just trying to experimenting different lineups. They also had a couple injuries going on, so I wouldn't rush to pick him up. Played 30 minutes here, obviously. Marcus Smart is still out, so that's a 35-minute guy in this rotation. So I don't think he has any long-term value. But if you want to grab him, you can just see where it goes. Jaylen Brown finally, the efficiency for versus this Raptors team. You know, he was never, and he has some knee injuries, knee issues moving forward. He's still ranked top 24 because despite shooting the ball pretty horribly, he had 10 assists. He's averaging 3.7 assists this season. He had 2 steals and a block, and 6 for 6 from the free throw line, shooting 78%. So there are a couple of things that I don't think Jaylen Brown can sustain. Right, the free throw percentage 78%. Maybe he can do it, but I wouldn't be surprised he goes back to low 70s, and the 51% shooting from the floor, and the 26 points. Right, once those efficiency fall out, he might, the cliff. He might fall off a big cliff, maybe outside of 50. Right, because the bad efficiency guys, it's really hard to be ranked that high. Because those efficiency, those 3 categories, that's the 3 categories right there. Kemba Walker continued to shooting the ball pretty, struggling shooting the ball, 5 for 12. And this year, he's gonna give you 18, 19 points, a little bit of assist, and that's it. He's gonna really a lot of nights destroy your field goal and turnovers. He had 5 here. He's still valuable, but really don't have high hopes for Kemba. If he had a couple of great games, I would try to sell him. Peyton Pritchard had a great game, played 30 minutes, but next game he could just play 20. Not worry about him. While Tristan Thompson only 18 minutes, but did exactly what he does, 11 rebounds. Let's move on to the next game. Indiana Pacers beating Detroit, 111-95. Pacers, those guys, they go hard in the regular season. And Sabonis, again, 26 plus 22. Really, really scary. Sabonis, looking at his counting stats, is really, really, really good. But in 9 category leagues, he's ranked 47th. If you're counting free throw, because he's hurting you so much in free, if you're counting free throw, he's a top 25 guy for sure. A big rebound, good scoring, big assist as a big man, good, really, really big field goal. Fill up the stats here: 3 steals and 2 blocks. And also 5 personal fouls. Good from the free throw line. Just really scary game from Sabonis. Hit 2 threes as well. They just destroyed Detroit. You can't really hit. And let's talk about Miles Turner a little bit. Lately, his minutes hasn't been playing 30 minutes. He had 4 personal fouls. He blocked you 2 shots, but he hasn't been the first round value that he was. And that was never gonna sustain. But even after this game, he's still the 11th ranked player, averaging 3.4 blocks. That's the problem. Like guys like Miles Turner and Chris Boucher. Obviously, Miles Turner is way better in fantasy. It's just they're gonna be up and down. Majority of their values come from their blocks, those defensive stats. So there will be some games. I mean, he still blocked you 2 shots here. So there will be some games, the guy might score 4 points and 5 rebounds, but the defensive upside always gonna be there. So I think it's a good buy low. If he has another bad game or 2, you can buy low. I wouldn't throw up a top 50 or 60 guy at him because his upside is first round. Wait for a few games, throw him a pretty consistent guy like Valanciunas. You look at the stats, wow, 16 points, 11 rebounds, pretty consistent, and 56% from the field. The guys like that, you want to be like, okay, this guy is very consistent. I would rather have a consistent guy. But in fantasy, I don't think you want to, unless your team is super stacked, you don't really want consistency from your players. You want a guy with high upside. You want a guy that, when you play the other team, like, wow, I am scared of Miles Turner. If he goes out for 5 blocks tonight, I'm down. Justin Holiday played 34. I think he's still worth rostering. Efficiency is not so good, but he can hit the threes and give you the steals and low turnover. So I like that. McDermott started, played 30 minutes, 9 points and nothing else. Not interested. Got a steal. The man's been averaging 0.2 steals this season. TJ McConnell played 32 minutes. Yeah, he's a must roster. With all the injuries going on, I think once TJ Warren eventually returns, we don't know when, and what's his name, LeVert, but we don't know when that is. At the moment, TJ McConnell's minutes play basically every 25 minutes every single game, and he's been giving blocks as well. 7 assists, 2 steals and a block, 6 rebounds. Really scary stuff on TJ. Jeremy Lamb, only 28 minutes. Just So efficiency is crazy. So you can roster him, but majority of his values come from his efficiency and low turnover. So that's not good. That's not a good sign for elite fantasy play. Just the efficiency. On the Detroit side, Jeremy Grant struggled, 4 for 17, but that's gonna happen. He's still, in my opinion, a top 25 guy. 2 steals in the block, that's good. 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Blake Griffin continues to shoot under 40% every single game. He does offer you a little bit assist and a little bit rebound and a little bit points. So he has some value, like some streaming value, but you don't want to roster him. He's gonna miss out so many back-to-backs. Isaiah Stewart started. In this game, what happened with Mason Plumlee? Let me see. Did he get hurt? If he got hurt, Isaiah Stewart is the pickup. Yeah. Mason Plumlee had an elbow injury. So in the short term, Isaiah Stewart, and I talked about this earlier, Mason Plumlee is eventually going to be, I think, not getting 30 minutes every single night. Because the Detroit, if they're losing, what's the point of playing veteran guys, right? Even for guys like Blake Griffin, they're going to be in and out of the lineup. And just hopefully the rookies, the young players, they get more run. And I think that's going to happen. Isaiah Stewart played against Indiana Pacers team, who's pretty good defensively. 8 for 9. Good field goal, big field goal. And filled up the stat sheet. So just pick him up until Mason Plumlee comes back and see what happens. Who knows? Maybe he get 25 minutes moving forward. Wayne Ellington, after the hot shooting, 23 minutes here, nothing to see. Only a 3-point stream. Delon Wright struggled, but give you the 2 blocks. He's a must-roster guy with all the guys out. And same with Josh Jackson. Only 25 minutes here. Good from the field, bad from the free efficiency, but the counting stat: 8 rebounds, 4 steals, and 4 assists and a steal, 18 points. I like Josh Jackson. The only thing is, the efficiencies are rough. But he's perfect if you got guys like Westbrook or John Wall on your team, in my opinion. Just forget about the efficiency categories. Let's move on to the next thing. Orlando Magic. Everybody hurt. Everybody. I think Frank Mason also exited the game after playing 4 minutes. So pretty much everybody is worth streaming on the Magic side with everybody hurt. They lost to Golden State. Curry popped up. Vucevic took 23 shots. He has to carry the load. He should be a top 10 player. It's like a Bradley Beal situation. Except Beal is going to start resting on Friday, so that's concerning. 23 points, bad efficiency, it's just one game. 6 for 6, 13 rebounds, a top 10 player, no worries. A minus 19. James Ennis, Garrett Clark, Dwayne Bacon. I don't like really those 3 guys. Just in fantasy wise, I think they're not really. They can give you some points and rebound, but not. I don't really like any of those guys. I think they all. Terrence Ross is a must pick up, but after that, I don't really like. Maybe James Ennis. I don't really like Dwayne Bacon. He just pretty empty score. Put up. He give you 3 steals here. So that's good. But if you want, they have a back-to-back. If you need some streaming options in the short term, yeah, all those guys are worth streaming. Just everybody is hurt on this team. Terrence Ross played 40 minutes and took 27 shots. That just tells you, how thin the rotation is at the moment. 20 points, took 27 shots. He really destroyed your field goal. But if you try to win field goal, maybe not pick up Terrence Ross. 3 blocks, really strong. 2 threes, 20 points. The volume is there. He's a must pick up for the short term. And this guy Okiki is also, I don't really know who this guy is. Played 35 minutes, also worth a look. Had a pretty well-rounded game. 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal. 9 points. While Ken Burch, only 23 minutes, grabbed you 8 rebounds. He's also worth streaming. On this team, everybody is hurt. Right? Cole Anthony should be back. So if he gets dropped, I would pick him up. It has usage. Evan Fournier is also out. Don't know when those guys are pretty short-term injuries. They should be back in less than a week, in my opinion. On the Warriors side, Curry popped off. He is been so good this season. After this game, he's 4th ranked, right? Joel Embiid is 2nd ranked. Curry averaging 30 points. Is that the most in the league? Is he leading the league? His numbers is identical as 2016, pretty much. 30 points, 5 threes. Yeah, he hit 5 threes that year as well. But he's no longer number one ranked because the 3-pointer 5 threes in 2021 is not the same as 5 threes in 2016 category leagues, because the league now everybody shoot threes, right? CJ McCollum be averaging 4.8 threes, even though the sample size is small. Damian Lillard be shooting 4 threes, 4.1. Right, when Steph did it in 2016, I don't think anybody come close. So if you've got Steph Curry, you're probably gonna win. You're gonna win threes every single week. Really strong stuff from Curry, and just great efficiency. 49%. He can be that guy. 48, 49%, and 90% from the free throw. We know that. This game he added 4 steals, 5 assists, 40 points. Really strong. If he was somewhat struggling a little bit to start off this. If you traded some guys, overperforming, maybe Joel Embiid for Curry, I would still do that trade. I still do that trade, even though Joel Embiid just keep proving me wrong. Really scary. I mean, we'll talk about Joel Embiid a little bit, but it's possible Joel Embiid end up finishing top 3 on a per game basis. The only thing is the injury that's stopping him. Kelly Oubre Jr. had a great game, 17 and 10 for assists. The shooting at some point is gonna come back up. Really great game here. Draymond Green continued to be strong. 6 rebounds, 11 assists. And I think, like I said, if Curry continues to be playing well, Draymond is gonna put up pretty good stats, right? Draymond said he really enjoyed getting the assist, setting up his teammate, like set those hard swings. It's like hitting a 3-pointer for him. So if Curry is playing this well, Draymond is gonna not only the assist numbers, he's gonna be more focused on the defense. Not that he's a veteran, he knows what he should be doing. 36 minutes here, 1 steal and 2 blocks, really strong. But the only problem is that the points is so low, just so low. So if your team doesn't need points, you go and try to trade for Draymond. And if your team does need the points, I would try to trade him. Otherwise, just hold him. The other category, he's really giving you that. Picked it up. Andrew Wiggins, 34 minutes, give you 3 blocks. Still bad from the free throw line, but he's 99th ranked. But the combination of scoring, 18 points a game, and from the field, he's not even bad this year, 47%. On the Timberwolves, he was like he will be at 43% on 20 shots. So he really improving in that area, and 1.3 blocks. If his steal numbers if he can be a 1 steal guy, he will be a top 80, 85. So he's really valuable in my own. Not really valuable, but he's good. The narrative for Andrew Wiggins over the years is he's so bad in category leagues, you don't roster him. But this year, he has really room to grow here. The 66% from the free throw line, I think he should be better than that. He should be a 70 guy. So if he gets dropped, you go grab him for sure. And this guy Juan Toscano Anderson, in the short term, he played only 20 minutes here, but he's been playing 30 minutes. In the short term, go grab him, stream him until James Wiseman or Kevon Looney comes back. Filled up the stat sheet in 20 minutes, still in the block, 5 rebound. The last game of the night is the Philadelphia Sixers losing. That's a surprise to Portland Trailblazers. Joel Embiid, they did play the Portland, but at this point, he got me convinced. I kept saying sell high. He wants to get the MVP. 13 for 25. Look really good, but they're like a couple of scary moments here and there. Left the game to the locker room. The only problem with Joel Embiid is the injury risk. Out of the top 10 guys, KD, we know he came back from an Achilles injury, but he looked fine, right? Pretty much all the top 10 guys. Kawhi also has some injury risk. Obviously, our Kyrie Irving, but Joel Embiid, he has the injury risk is probably the most the scariest out of all top 10 players. but I thought he's not gonna be a per game basis. He's not gonna be a top 5 guy, but he just kept proving me wrong, averaging 1.3 steals and only 1.3 blocks. He can improve that, and when that happens, he can be a number 1 guy, right? Maybe Jokic fell off a little bit. Really scary stuff. 8 for 11 from the free throw line is an anomaly. 52% from the field, 35 points. What a surprise this year! If you got Joel Embiid in the, after 15th pick, you're probably not winning the league, but your team should be, doing pretty well, I would say. Tobias Harris 4 for 12, 17 points, minus 14, a block, had an okay game. Danny Green 31 minutes. He give you the threes, he give you the steals, he give you the blocks. If you need those 3 categories, you can stream him. Seth Curry 35 minutes. If Seth Curry gets 30 minutes every game, you can consider roster him, but he won't be a top 50 player. His efficiency has somewhat fell off. 46% is about, that's normal. 15 points, that's the thing. His 3 best categories is his efficiency and turnover. Right? Ben Simmons also had a great game against his Portland team. 10 for 12, 3 for 3 from the free throw line. He's a really, really big rebound and assist guy as a point guard, a 2 steals guy, 1 block, 23 points here. Really good stuff. While Matisse Thybulle only played 15 minutes, you can stream him for some defensive stats. On the Portland side, Damian Lillard, teams are probably just going to double him a lot, so he should get more assists, 7 assists here, 30 points. He should be a top 5 guy without the injuries pretty easily. He can really pop off for 40 points any given night against this Sixers team. They're a great defensive team. So 6 for 21 is rough. 7 assists is nice. 2 steals. 14, most importantly, 14 for 15 from the free throw line. He's the biggest free throw anchor in the entire league, because Harden this year, his usage has been down, so it's Damian Lillard's time. Gary Trent Jr. 37 minutes. The volume is there. He's the pickup. Mainly for points and threes. He can really give you the high volume. Anytime he adding any defensive stats, you take it. In his Kanter, it's so easy for him to grab average 10 rebounds. He grabbed to 7 offensive rebounds here. A double-double, didn't shoot the ball well. I view him as a top 50, top 60 guy because he's so efficient, grab you a lot of rebounds. And lately, his block number he didn't block a shot, but he can give you close to 1 block, so that's good enough. Robert Covington, only 25 minutes, struggled this game. I would buy low. I think he has really figured it out. And I wouldn't be too concerned. I think on this team, he will get the 30 minutes, even with CJ McCollum and Yusuf Nurkic coming back, because he's not, his usage is going to be low. The main value from him is getting the minutes and getting those defensive stats. He did that. He continued shooting 40%. Sub 40% for the year. Once that improves, his ranking is going to go up. Derrick Jones Jr. played 23, didn't really do much well. Carmelo Anthony had a great game, 9 for 15. Him and Gary Trent Jr. Those 2 guys are worth picking him up or streaming, at least in the short term. The minutes is there. That's it for all the games. See you guys later.